Okay, welcome. So we're starting an interview on basically how your time working with me was. For anyone who's listening, this is Rejoy, and I will have her introduce herself, but she has been a dear client of mine for 10 months, and I'm going to miss her so much, and we just completed our work together.
That's so sad.
It is. So,
Happy.
yeah, bittersweet for
Yeah,
sure. It
bittersweet.
always is. It always is. But 10 months together, almost a year. And I'm excited for everyone to hear about your transformation, what you've achieved professionally and creatively. But please introduce yourself to the world.
Sure. Hi, my name is Rejoy Armamento, and I'm a freelance illustrator, visual designer, and muralist. I'm originally from California, but I am in Anchorage, Alaska. I moved here maybe 4 years ago. And so I've been basing my business here. And for my day job, I do screen printing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, you have a couple things going on. You're screen printing and you're also doing all of your freelance work. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of great muralists, and we'll get in murals and we'll get into that. So I just have a series of questions. It's going to be a conversation, but it's really to take folks through the experience of finding a coach, what that was like for you, what made you choose one, and also the work we did in between, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful that came out of it, and
Mm-hmm.
also just what's it like to complete and move forward. Because as you know, what I say to anyone is that we're looking for sustainable change in your life. So first, I'd like to just start with some simple starting questions. Why did you choose to work with me?
Well, I chose to work with Nadia because, well, honestly, I wasn't really looking for a coach, really. And then I stumbled upon um, her her coaching, and just by asking a series of questions on social media. And honestly, I initially felt trust with her. I think it's because, I mean, I've known her like before. I met her in college back in when I used to live in San Francisco. So there was already that initial like trust. Like I knew her as a friend. Um, but besides that, I I think it's because like she's a Filipino American, and I'm also Filipino American, and that resonated with me so much. I felt like, um, and also that she's a lady and I'm a lady, and I don't know. I feel like we share like similar experiences, and I think that's important to work with someone who can kind of understand like similar things that that you've gone through. I think our experiences are connected and are very similar, and so we're like kind of like on the same like wavelength and everything. And so and I don't know, I think also I trusted in Nadia because I saw like a lot of the work that she's been putting out like through social media, and like I think I was also like inspired that someone else is also trying to create her own business, trying to better herself. And I really admired that. And I really like, I felt like, you know, if I'm going to have someone to help me out, I would like someone to kind of have that same ambition, same motivation, and same drive. So that was a
Right.
lot.
No, and
Yeah.
it is a lot and it's perfect, right? And here's what I'm hearing that I love is that I choose my clients the same way. I love clients that have that same ambition, that same drive, whether it's to start their own business or to go after, you know, whatever next role or next big thing is for them, even if they stay in a 9 to 5. But it's just, I saw that in you. And I guess I'd love to ask, how has, I work with self-identified women of color. How has that really played a role and impacted our work together?
Um, it worked really well because I think like I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know if this is just my own experience, but I'm so used to being like the only woman of color in a room, or being the only woman in the room. You know, I've done some therapy in the past, and I don't think I've ever worked with anyone who was of color, or sometimes even the same like gender. Not that really, not that I'm like, I don't know, trying to be like, I don't know, like not to be prejudiced or anything like that, but I think like being able to work with someone who just might have gone through the same things as you have, specifically as a woman and specifically as a woman of color, is like so comforting. I don't have to, I don't have to explain so much. Like I don't have to like explain why I feel certain things, because it's a lot of my perspective is going to be through a cultural lens, specifically through a cultural lens of being Filipino, you know, and it's so refreshing to hear someone be like, oh yeah, I know, like, you know, growing up, you know, like, you know, my mom was telling me to do this, and like, I don't know, just certain things that are like, that is like very familiar. It's like, oh yeah, my mom like was also like going through the same stuff with me, and I don't know, and it's like a Filipino lens. Like I don't know, it's just like, yeah. So it's just refreshing. I don't need to explain myself. I think that's like the bottom line there.
Yeah, awesome.
So.
And I wanted to get into what you achieved. I know we worked together for 10 months, so it might be hard to bottom line it or to even choose what to talk about, but just I would love to get into what were the goals that you wanted to work on going into coaching, and what did you get out of it as a result of going through this work together?
Yeah, there are several goals, definitely. I think the biggest one was, I think the biggest goal for me was really just realizing that I can make changes. I can make changes in my life. I mean, initially the goal was like, I wanted to go to Mexico. That was one of the goals. I wanted to go to Mexico. Two, I wanted to really just believe in my own business. I've been doing freelance for some time, but I don't know, I didn't really have that confidence that that it would be a real thing. Another goal was getting out of my job that it didn't resonate with me at all. It made me so unhappy. I just felt really stuck. And so it was just trying to find really the momentum to go forward.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had the goals of wanting, you know, this and this and this, but I think the overall bigger picture was just moving forward, how to get unstuck. So,
right. How to get unstuck. And let's just talk about, we'll get into the juice of what you did to get unstuck. But let's talk about what you've achieved in 10 months. So I'll say it, and you added anything else or like give more details, but you quit your job immediately. And I recall you went to them and said, I won't do part-time, because they wanted you to go part-time, and said, I will be a contracted illustrator and you can be my client. And I thought that was incredible, because when we first started, there was just so much saboteurs stopping you from speaking up and activating your voice and claiming your rates like that. And even to quit was really difficult, because they kept trying to make you stay and make you stay and make you stay, even if you weren't happy and even if they weren't ideal. And then you also started your freaking business. Yes, you were freelancing, but now it is a full-fledged business today. So tell us a little bit about what is the status of that today.
So right now, it was really exciting to just, I think just making small changes, like on my Instagram, I put in like in my status, like, I'm a muralist, I'm an illustrator, I'm a visual designer, and I just put it on there. I'm a muralist. And just started really showing up on social media, but also in real life, but like really just sharing just little process, um, like videos or like little process pictures of what I was doing. Every person that I met, like I would just start talking about it, and in an excited way, not like shying away from it, just being like, yeah, this is what I do. Even if it was just a couple of gigs here and there, just being like, this is who I am, this is what I do.
Right.
And since then, I've gotten like really cool, exciting gigs. Like one of them was like working for Princess Cruises. I was contracted to go like fly out to Southeast Alaska in Skagway to paint on this rock that's like on the side of this mountain. Um, and I was just like painting their logo on there. I was on a cherry picker, which I've never been on, and I was like about like 50 to, I don't know, 80 feet off the ground. I've never done that before. And I had never like, I don't know, like painted like a really nice, clean logo on a rock. So that was another thing. So it was like, I don't know, that was a really cool, challenging experience for me.
Right.
And that gig kind of like helped me propel just like the following gigs from there. Just lots of word of mouth in town, just like people just recognizing what I was doing. And so then I just started getting more people DMing me about like inquiring about my my specialty. So
Right.
it's been really awesome. So
Yeah, so I'll share a little bit for anyone who might be thinking about this, right? Is when we met, it was, I want to be a muralist. I want to travel to Mexico and go for like 6 months to a year. And I want to do murals. And I feel it felt so far when we started. It felt so far, but doing the tweaks, like activating your voice and telling people I am a muralist. I remember the challenge of put it on your Instagram, muralist. That is what you do. And just being like, oh, that feels so big. And just seeing how much it's like propelled, as you said, you into people are seeking you now.
mm-hmm.
Right. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about that. The work it took to really get to a space of I am claiming this for myself.
Wow. It was, yeah. I don't know. It was a lot. And it didn't happen overnight. Obviously, it was just taking. I feel like the small steps that I took, like one, like you said, like just putting it on my status, just that alone, just like, all right, yeah, that was actually hard for me to do. It was, but actually doing it, like being scared, and then still doing it, like helped me show up in other areas of my life where I was like, all right, well, if I can do that, then I can tell someone, okay, like that was scary. I just told them that I'm a muralist.
Mhm.
um, and and then so forth. It's also just like also telling myself that it's like stepping into the person I want to be, like just like, okay, like it's like putting on these shoes. I'm just like, I don't know about these shoes. It feels like different and crazy, but like just getting comfortable in them. It's like I don't know, just convincing yourself, telling yourself, even if everything's telling you like, oh, you're not that yet. It's being able to notice like what is scary. And I feel like when I find things that are scary for me, it's kind of like the defining moment where I like a thing that I really loved, and that what really helped me that Nadia showed, it was curiosity. Seeing it not as like a negative thing to be scared, but seeing it as like, what is this? What's behind this fear? So that kind of helped me kind of change perspective when I get into those sticky, like oh gosh, sticky situations where I'm like, this is the way to move forward. Like, what is it? And so just analyzing and just finding like just noticing those fears and being able to just kind of move forward with it helped out a lot. So
Yeah. I love that what you're saying is you didn't learn how to not be scared, right? It's not
yeah,
like they're
no,
completely erased. What you learned was, how do I analyze this? How do I sit with it? How do I accept it? How do I move forward from it regardless?
yeah, I think just learning how to sit with that discomfort like really changed me so much. Just like you know what, that's just how it is. It's, I think, to really change is to be able to sit with that discomfort and then transform it into like into a forward motion. Did I, was I successful all the time? No. Sometimes I stepped backwards. I was just like, oh gosh, this is like,
Yeah,
but
I love
yeah.
that. That's what I want to kind of pinpoint on, because you are a success, right? Bottom line, for anyone who listens to this, and just between you and me, you have been so successful going through this program, and you have come out a muralist, claiming your rates, stepping into the leader you want to be, improving your personal relationships and professional relationships, right? But it was hard work. That's what I want this to be known as. This, there is no silver bullet in this type of transformational work and in coaching, but it's hard work, and sometimes you failed, and sometimes you still celebrated the failure because we were able to find the learnings in that. So talk a little bit about how hard this shit is.
Gee, sometimes I just like, I don't know, sometimes I can't sleep because I'm just thinking about it. It's just like,
We want
but
you to
like,
sleep, but yeah.
it's just like, it's funny because like, I'll get like, the homework, it's like every 2 weeks I get this challenge. It's like the one challenge, or sometimes it's 2 or 3. And it just sits with me. I'm just like, okay, how am I going to do this? How I'm going to, just, like an example was just like, I had this roommate that I had a lot of difficulties with. And one of them was just being transparent and just talking to her about, you know, just the things I had issues with her. And it made me realize, like, the limitations that I've placed on myself, and not just with her, but with a lot of other things in life. Just confronting people, just being honest, being vulnerable. And yeah, I remember like thinking about it every day, and like, each day I'll just like, try to take a step, like, all right, I'm going to go to a room. Okay, wait, no. And then, and then I'll just like think of these things, and finally you just do it. And then afterwards you're just like, okay, I did it. I accomplished it. Like,
Right.
And it's never going to be perfect. You have in your head, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this and this. And then you do it. And like, what matters is that you did it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
not what you wanted to happen in your head, but it's
Yeah.
more like you took steps to do the thing that you were scared of the most, you know?
Yes, but you knew that that was probably the best next step for you, right? Where nothing will change unless I say something.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, it's really just like, because from there I was able to make the next move. We eventually decided to not be roommates anymore, and we just kind of went our own separate ways. And then I found a new place, and I really love coming home now. I love my roommates.
Yeah.
I was able to get myself out of that situation, and I was in it for so long, and it really was just going over that, kind of going through that fire, I guess you can call it. Like,
Yes.
I just really had to talk to her, and then I was able to figure out the next steps afterwards. And so,
Same thing when you quit your job. You just really had to confront your boss and say, actually, no, I will not stay and go from full time to part time. I will be leaving and I can be your contracted freelancer.
mhm,
Right? And
right.
it's just these things seem so scary. And what I appreciate you saying is it's never perfect, and perfection is what stops most people from ever moving forward. I want
Yeah.
the perfect plan that will stop me from being hurt, that will stop me from being rejected, the perfect plan where I will win and nothing will phase me or hurt me. And the fact of the matter is that what I know about these instances in Rejoy's life, for anyone listening, is that you failed a lot, and that you said these things to your roommate or to your boss, and sometimes it didn't go your way and you still kept persisting. You still kept going.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah. And it's funny, like, just having those instances has helped me, um, like, has helped me with my business overall. Helped me show up to be essentially a better leader. And like, because everything in our lives are interconnected. Um, my home life, my work life, my relationship with my partner. Um, so just being able to kind of practice, um, like stepping up, moving forward, going through these challenges in one area of my life, like home, for instance, I was able to apply that, like, with my partner. I was able to apply that with, a client I had difficulties, negotiating a rate with. Um, and it's just, yeah, it's all interconnected. So,
Right.
mhm.
How we show up in one aspect shows up somewhere else. And a lot of people don't
Mhm.
realize that, right? Like how we show up to our parents affects our leadership at work, affects how we show up to our partners, affects how we show up to our friends. We often find that we have to be separate people. But what I've seen you grow into, Rejoy, is this awesome, like badass, confident, and thoughtful person everywhere you go. Whereas before, I remember it was like, this is work Rejoy, this is partner Rejoy, this is daughter Rejoy. Now I just feel there's just like this synergy between every part of your world, and you show up the same no matter what.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about your business. I'm a leadership and negotiation coach. You just touched up a little bit on leadership. I want to know, what type of leader are you now after this work? And what is the biggest takeaways and achievements that you've gotten out of negotiating?
Uh, okay, so I think just taking a risk, um, just taking that risk, just again, like knowing like what might be uncomfortable to you, like a number, and just being able to ask
For your
for
rate.
what you want. Um, I feel like I've just grown up to just get used to being really nice and small to people and letting them kind of walk all over me and like, okay, well, this is what they want. And now I think as a leader, I realized like, you know what? I also have a say in things. I can take up space in this room. I don't need to always move aside for other people all the time. Like I could occupy in the same space. I could meet them halfway. They can meet me halfway. Sorry, the other way around. They can meet me halfway. So I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. Asking for what I want and taking that risk to ask for what I want and facing rejection, facing failure. Maybe maybe they might not like what I want, but just being able to present it, and like just being surprised, which is so awesome.
Right. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, there's this one job that I had where we were talking about rates, and I had a number in my head. I was like, you know what, the things that I do, I'm worth this number. And before I wasn't able to even say it, I would shy away from it and go lower and lower. So I thought of a number, and then I added like 30% on top of that. I was like, all right, if I'm uncomfortable with this number, then why not try to just push myself a little bit and add like 30% on top of that? Because if anything, like, you know what, they can negotiate down to the first uncomfortable number. So let's go get a little bit more comfortable.
Exactly.
All right, let's just see what happens. And then I did it, and they didn't even question it. They're just like, yeah, okay. And I was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, what?
Yeah. And then you know what we say when they say yes immediately? Damn, there was no resistance. We should have raised that a little bit more.
I know, exactly. I was just like, oh, okay. And just learning just how to toss these numbers out, like just kind of it's more transactional for me. Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I said exactly. I remember you telling me the moment it clicked for you. You said it's not personal, it's transactional.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about making that shift from this is everything, it's gonna hurt me, or that means they hate me, my work, but it's just from separating. It's not personal. I'm shifting to it's transactional. I'm gonna say my rates. I'm gonna say my value.
I think behind that, it was like, it took work to really realize like, that, like you were saying before, like money is energy. It's equal energy. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, equal. And money is also value and my worth. And it was just realizing like, I am worth X amount, with whatever project or idea they want to lay out. Yeah, it's going to take this many hours. It's going to take this much research for me. That's worth a lot. And I'm going to increase their value with what I'm going to provide for them. So just like centering myself around a number just kind of helped me just remember, like, it was grounding. I think that's what it was.
Right.
It was grounding. And that's how it became more transactional for me, and also just being like, you know what, I'm serious about my work, and I'm serious about my worth and what I'm able to provide for this person. So it was like, it was really cool just to kind of, just to separate myself from from thinking, oh, I'm not worth this money, to being like, yeah, I'm worth this. I'm going to show up like that for this person, for this job. And, you know, and then they respect that. They're just like, oh, wow, okay, this person is serious. That means, you know what, I think this person might do a good job. I think, you know, so yeah, it's cool to kind of like ground myself in my worth. And that's how I was able to kind of separate kind of just the heavy emotional factors of like, oh, maybe maybe I can't do this. I can't toss out this number. So yeah.
Right. I just remember so many different negotiation conversations throughout, and just being like, it's getting higher and higher and higher, and I don't even care. I just throw it out. And then I remember ending our work and our completion session saying, I want you to push for even higher as you move forward. So I'm so proud of you. You are a muralist. You are claiming your rates, and you're just moving forward, and you've changed your life. You really have. And you're creating the lifestyle and the work that truly fulfills you and energizes you and fills you up.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I definitely I think energize was a really good word.
Right.
I feel like more of like a pep, you know, I'm excited where I'm at, and it's pretty wild, and it blows my mind. Just, I don't know. I feel like I've just been so focused on like, you know, like every 2 weeks I get like a challenge, and I get focused on this challenge. And it's like, I got so focused in on like the forward movement, and also backwards, and then moving forward, moving backwards, moving forward. But it was just like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden 10 months goes by, and then I look back at where I was before, and I'm just like, wow, like I didn't even realize I like ran that far, or, you know, I climbed this crazy mountain. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I'm a totally different person from, I don't know, from before. And when I mean by different, is not that I'm still Rejoy, you know, like I'm still who I am. And I think what was really cool was highlighting the best parts of me. That, you know, just kind of like removing, I don't know, like almost like these blankets that were like blinding me, that like, you know what, damn, like I'm worth it. Like, this is so cool. I really love this part about me. I love that I'm loving. I love that I'm helpful. I love that I create. I love that I fail and I still like try, you know, and it was always there. Like, and that's the thing. You are always there, and it's just remembering your best parts. That, like, you know, that was so helpful for me.
I feel my eyes watering. I feel my like tingles on my arms as you say all of that. It is so true. You just amplified the best parts of you. And if anything, like you said, I was never gone. Like, you are always there. It's just a matter of taking those blankets off. You're like, oh wait, this is the real me. Right? Coaching isn't about changing somebody to be something they're not. It's really about stepping into who you really are. Because just as we grow into adulthood, especially being women of color, and throwing ourselves into the chaos of the grind that our culture just makes us like, go, 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 that there's just no time to really explore sometimes, and to really uplift these parts of us that are just like, I love myself. I love that about myself. I forgot I love that about myself. How do I get more of that?
Yeah, you forget a lot, and coaching helps remind you of your best parts, and also some ugly parts, and you know, and it's one of those things like, that's also a part of me, you know. It's like, yeah, I really don't like that part of me, but it's like but that's still there, and you're gonna work with that too, you know?
It's really about what I'm hearing is the self-love and then the acceptance of the good and the bad, right? Like I accept that as a part of me, because those parts of us will make us stressed, will make us judge ourselves, feel guilty. The perfectionism in us will be like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But it's really about, no, that's a part of me and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Get it
Right.
in place. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've taken so much of your time. I think this is amazing. Thank you for sharing your journey. And I'm sure we can talk about this for 10 months because we did. And I'm wondering, just a couple final questions. What's the most important thing people should know about working with me and entering coaching together? If you had to say.
What's the most important thing? Man, there's so many things. Okay. I think the most important thing is that you're very genuine, and you you truly care about me, and you cared about, like, you believed in me. You believe that I could step into the person I wanted to be. And by doing, and you showed it by like, you like noticed just like the little nuances about like just even my tone of voice, or my facial expressions, which has allowed me to mimic that, like kind of mirror that for myself. Just really tuning in on the little nuances. And before, when we started out, we were just like talking on the phone. Like you didn't even see any of like anything. Like you didn't see
Still
my
able to
facial
feel that.
expression. But what was really cool is that you like, I'm trying to find the word, but like very in tune. You talked a lot about like, my intuition tells me that you're feeling this, or I feel like there's a little bit of this.
Right.
And so that was really cool.
Oh.
Just learning kind of the little things about yourself was awesome. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, those little things are the things that make you rejoy. Right? That's just, I love that you're telling me that it mirrors and you can notice that for yourself now moving forward. Right? And just feel like, oh, did I just do that? Or maybe like, what's my facial expression? And I've seen you do the work, and part of the sustainable change I've seen for you is that curiosity that you're taking with you of what am I
Mhm.
experiencing now? What is my
Yeah.
body feeling now? What emotions might be here? What do I think that means?
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think the biggest takeaway, like I remember you saying in one of our sessions, it was like, there's wisdom in your body. And I was just like, whoa, what? I just,
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
love that.
Yes, there's
And
wisdom in our bodies.
oh my gosh. But yeah, it's reminding ourselves that like our bodies, we're in the present moment. Like our
Yes.
mind can be in the future, in the past. And like reminding, or like, yeah, reminding ourselves that like what is here in the present,
Yeah.
taking care of what's here in the
Right.
moment.
Mm.
So I think those are one of the most important things to kind of like, I don't know, those are one of the important things to take away from your coaching session. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's a testament to how much everything that can stir up the self-sabotaging thoughts in us to stop us from moving forward is either from the past or the future, right? Like what's
Yeah.
been holding me back? I can't change that. I can't change that. And oh my God, is it going to be okay? There's so much unknown. And you're just
Mm-hmm.
bottom lining it to how do I be in the present? And how do I
Mm-hmm.
keep getting shit done? How do I show up the way I want to be, the person I want to be? and just like find this peace, right? In
Mhm.
being who I am today. And
Right.
so I'd love to wrap this up with, is there anything else you would like to add before we finalize and we end this awesome interview?
Um, I also, well, another thing I wanted to add to the last question was
Oh,
like,
yes. Okay, go.
um,
Sorry.
one of the most important things is that you're really silly, and you're
I'm
really
silly.
silly. Yeah, and that's like, and it's, you know, and I feel like sometimes when people think of coaching, it's like, oh, like we have to like be really serious about certain things. Like, you know what? You can be silly, and it's great.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
love
it helped me become like a little bit more like, yeah, you know, let's laugh a little. Like the woohoos in the beginning, like, geez, I love it. It's cheesy and lovely. Like,
yeah.
like,
I'm super cheesy.
yeah,
And
I love that.
I love that you're saying that, because it's just, oh my God, there's just like, we're like, even this interview, we're like getting through the, like, what do we got to ask? What do I have to ask to like show a accurate representation of the transformation? Like this interview shows nothing of the shit we went through in 10 months. Like
I know.
nothing of how the depth and the silliness and the play and the
Yeah, right.
emotions, the
Yeah, it was like
anger,
full
the tears.
spectrum.
Yeah, just
Right.
a full spectrum of being a human being. And I think
Right.
we forget, everybody thinks about, how do I get there? And like we plan. And then there's this thought of like, why so serious? Right? Of
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
we just,
Mhm.
play can bring out so much in us, because as adults, we just forget what it means to play and to just be silly, because we're like, plan.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, like, I mean, to close it off, really, the last thing I really want to say is just like, you know, I'm really grateful to have worked with such a dynamic person. Like you said, like the full spectrum. You got a little bit serious, you got a little bit of play, you got a little bit silly, you got a little bit of cheese, you got a little bit of like, I don't know, just like everything. Like I said from the beginning, you know, having that cultural lens, that knowledge, that understanding, like I I it's gonna be hard to work with someone else, honestly. After this, it's like, dude, you set like a high bar right now. Like,
Yeah, you can come back to me anytime you want, girl. I'll be here.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm really happy that I got to work with you and you specifically.
Right.
Like if it really boils down to, I know I said all these things about like, oh yeah, I like Nadia because of this and this. I picked Nadia because, you know, because she's Nadia. Like you're you, just you. I like you. I like you as a person. So it's like, you know, no one else is Nadia. All right, well, you know what? Like
That's it.
like
Right.
this is like, yeah, you're unique, and I love that I got to work with you. So
Oh,
it's such an honor. So yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's such an honor. I mean, we're going to love on each other after I stop this recording. I know we are, but I will say that you are a phenomenal artist. You have so much to offer this world. I want to see you painting big freaking murals that show who you are and the stories you want to tell from your past generational inheritances culturally, and just what you have to offer, the feminine energy and what women have to offer in through art is incredible. And just like your art is just so magnetic and energetic that of course I believed in you, right? And of course I believed in the best parts of you and holding the messiest parts of you. It was an honor. It really was an honor to see you and witness you, you know, and push you to really step into that lifestyle and that creativity and the work that you want to do, because I do believe it's possible. um, and thank you for being silly with me, and thank you for playing with me. And really, I just want to throw that back at you. I accept that the privilege. I accept the compliments you're giving me. want to put that back on you. As you increase your rates and as you move forward and as you keep getting the gigs you want, people are going to gravitate towards you because you are the only Rejoy. There is no one else like you. There's no other artist like you, and that's
it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And thank you for this. I truly believe that this will help other people in deciding, am I the right coach for them or not, or what coaching is in general or not, and if this is the type of support they need. You know, and it's not just for people in tech or people in corporate jobs. It's for creatives. It's for artists as well. It's for people wanting to start their own businesses and pathways. So thank you for sharing this goal with them.
Of course.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop this. And bye.